Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about something that's really close to many of our hearts, especially when we've lost someone we love. It's that comforting thought, that beautiful hope, that when we go to heaven, we'll be reunited with our family and friends who have passed on. We imagine joyful reunions, warm hugs, and picking up right where we left off. It's an idea that has brought peace to countless people in their moments of deepest grief. But here's a thought that might be challenging, and I want to explore it with you today with an open mind and a gentle heart. What does the Bible actually say about this? Have we perhaps built this popular idea more on tradition and wishful thinking than on what's written in the scriptures? Let's dive into this together, not to take away comfort, but to ground our hope in what the Bible truly teaches about heaven and the afterlife. First, let's acknowledge where this idea comes from. It's completely natural. The bonds we form with our family and friends are some of the most profound experiences of our lives. They shape who we are. So, when we think of a perfect eternity, our minds naturally include the people who made our lives meaningful here on earth. The thought of an eternity without them can feel empty or incomplete. This desire for reunion is a beautiful testament to the power of love. You'll often hear phrases at funerals like, "Grandma is up there with Grandpa now watching over us." And while that sentiment is filled with love, if we're honest, it's not a direct quote from the Bible. So, where do we start our search? The logical place is to look at what Jesus himself said about the afterlife. In the Gospel of Matthew chapter 22, some religious leaders called the Sadducees try to trap Jesus with a question. They didn't believe in the resurrection, so they posed a riddle about a woman who was married to 7 brothers, one after the other, as they each passed away. They asked, "At the resurrection, whose wife will she be of the 7?" Jesus' response is incredibly revealing. He says, "You are in error because you do not know the scriptures or the power of God. At the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven." This is a profound statement. Jesus tells us that the fundamental structures of our earthly relationships, like marriage, won't exist in the same way in the resurrected state. Our relationships will be transformed. We will be like the angels. This suggests that our heavenly existence will be radically different from our earthly one. Our family structures, our marital bonds, these earthly ties will be superseded by a new heavenly reality. So if our earthly relationships are transformed, what becomes the central focus of heaven? The consistent message throughout the entire Bible is that heaven is, first and foremost, about being in the presence of God. It's about worshiping Him, glorifying Him, and enjoying perfect fellowship with Him. Revelation 21 gives us a stunning picture of the new heaven and new earth. It says, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and He will dwell with them. They will be His people, and God Himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain." Notice the emphasis here. The ultimate joy, the ultimate comfort, the ultimate reality of heaven is God dwelling with His people. The source of all joy is not primarily our reunion with each other, but our perfect, unfiltered union with our Creator. Think about it this way. On earth, our love for our family is one of the greatest reflections of God's love. But in heaven, we won't need the reflection anymore because we will have the source. We will experience God's love directly and perfectly. Our love for one another will be perfected and purified within that greater context of our shared love for God. Now, does this mean we won't know each other or won't have relationships in heaven? I don't think so at all. The Bible doesn't suggest a cosmic amnesia, where we forget everyone we've ever known. When Jesus was transfigured on the mountain, Peter, James, and John recognized Moses and Elijah, even though they had lived centuries earlier. This implies that we will retain our individual identities. We will still be us. Furthermore, the Apostle Paul talks about this in 1 Corinthians 13. He says, "For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known." This suggests a continuity of self. We will be fully known, which implies that our unique identity, shaped by our life and relationships, continues. We will likely recognize others, not just as souls, but as the specific people we knew and loved. However, the nature of those relationships will be fundamentally different. Here on Earth, our relationships are often exclusive and preferential. I love my spouse, my parents, my children in a different, more specific way than I love a stranger. But in heaven, all of our relationships will be perfected in Christ. Our love will no longer be limited or partial. We will love everyone perfectly because we will all be perfectly united in our love for God. C.S. Lewis wrote about this beautifully, suggesting that our earthly loves are like practice, preparing us for the great symphony of love in heaven where God is the conductor. Our specific loves won't be erased, but rather expanded and included into a much grander, all-encompassing love. So instead of seeing your grandmother and focusing solely on your old relationship, you will see her as a fellow perfected saint, and you will both turn, together, to worship the God who saved you. Your shared joy will be in Him. The bond you have will be remade, purified, and centered on Christ. The primary relationship for everyone in heaven will be their relationship with God, and all other relationships will flow from that primary one. So what's the takeaway here? Is this a less comforting message? I truly don't believe it is. In fact, it might be even more wonderful. The popular idea of heaven focuses on reclaiming what we lost. It's a backward-looking hope, but the biblical picture of heaven is a forward-looking hope. It's not about restoring the past, it's about stepping into a future that is infinitely better than anything we have ever known. Our ultimate joy won't come from getting our old relationships back, but from being in a perfect relationship with the God who is love itself. And in that context, we will be part of a vast, loving community of believers from all of history, including those we loved on earth. Our relationships won't be diminished. They will be perfected and placed in their proper, God-glorifying order. The real hope of the gospel isn't just that we'll see Grandma again, but that we, and Grandma, if she was a believer, will see Jesus face to face. That is the prize. That is the promise that swallows up all sadness and fulfills every desire. All the love we felt for our family on earth is just a shadow of the love we will experience in its fullness in the presence of God. So as we grieve, let's hold on to the ultimate hope. Let's look forward not just to a family reunion, but to a divine reunion, where every relationship is made perfect and every heart finds its ultimate satisfaction in the one who created us for fellowship with Himself. Thank you so much for exploring this deep topic with me today. I know it can be challenging, but my hope is that it strengthens your faith and focuses your hope on Jesus. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care.